So before I jump into my film review of The Hobbit: Desolation of Smaug, I am not a fan of mobile games. I own a Android phone in which I rarely use other than texting, and I'm not a fan of mobile games, period. I don't even care what it is. However, recently, I downloaded a free game known as The Hobbit: Kingdoms of Middle-earth on my phone because, well, it was free and I didn't have to pay for it. And I wanted to try this game out, and all I can really say about this game is that 1, it is addicting. 2, you should download it. 3, it is awesome. 4, it has online play, so you can join my empire, the Reptile Kingdom, and we can actually play online together through our phones and attack and kill and plunder other players in Middle-earth. I'm not sure how well you can see this, but that is my empire right there, and then if I can zoom in closer, that's actually like the outland of Middle-earth, and those are all other players' empires that I can attack, and then that's a more closer view of it, and I'm currently building my main castle at the moment. But essentially, you build buildings, houses, you get mithril, you get wood, you get gold, you get stone, you build up your empire, and then I'm currently level 5, and my name is Repzion, go figure, R-E-P-Z-I-O-N. You can add me on there, or go to the player info, create an account, add me as Repzion, and then go to world, I'm on world Lindor 109, Lindor 109. That's what I'm currently playing on right now. In any case, I would really recommend it. It's really fun. And again, I'm not a fan of mobile games. And what I like about the game so much is the fact that it has an online component where you can attack and kill other players. There's something about online play that attracts me, and if it has online play where you can kill people, specifically take their money, I want to play it. If by any chance you're interested in playing this game with me, there's a download link down below. You can download it on your Android or your iPhone or even your Kindle if you have one. Again, it's a free download. You don't have to pay for this. It's free to play, and I would highly recommend it because I'm playing it, and if I'm playing it, you should be playing it too. So for those of you who don't know, I am a big fantasy fan. I love fantasy. I love dark elves, elves in general, dwarves, orcs, but mainly wizards. Wizards are always my most favorite things in any sort of fantasy film. And The Hobbit was one of my first books that I read that was fantasy growing up. I'm actually quite surprised that my parents let me read that book, considering that it had wizards and all those things. When I was allowed to read The Hobbit and see the Lord of the Rings movies, but when the Lord of the Rings movies came out, I was not allowed to watch Harry Potter. Why I can watch Gandalf and Saruman, wizards and dark wizards, but I can't watch Harry Potter at the time. Don't ask me why, but it was just weird. In any case, The Hobbit was my absolute favorite book, and what I love by Peter Jackson is his imagination of putting my favorite book to the big screen. The Hobbit: The Unexpected Journey, and then you have The Hobbit: The Desolation of Smaug, and then you're gonna have The Hobbit: There and Back Again. I believe this trilogy of The Hobbit is a lot better than Lord of the Rings. Some people may disagree, but that's just me, and the reason I say that is because I feel as if The Hobbit is a lot more exciting and adventurous, and it's a lot more laid back. That's one of the things that I liked about this film so much, is that I sat down and enjoyed this film, and I was laughing consistently throughout and enjoying every part of it. A particular scene in The Desolation of Smaug that I loved, and it felt like the Avengers. If you've seen the Avengers, there's a scene near the end of the Avengers where the camera goes in one gigantic cycle of, there's no cuts. It's not a cut. It's a full cycle, and it's going through the city, and you have Hawkeye, Iron Man, and you have all these characters, and the camera just keeps going, and they keep fighting, and it's the coolest thing that I had never seen done in a film before. There's a particular scene in The Hobbit: The Desolation of Smaug, which Peter Jackson does this, and I fucking loved it. If you haven't seen the film, I'm not going to spoil it for you. I'm not a big fan of spoilers. If you haven't read The Hobbit, you should probably read it. It's a good book. It's not super long. It's relatively short compared to the Lord of the Rings books, which go on forever and ever, and you have a 20-page chapter dedicated to describing scenery. Who wants to read that shit? I don't know. In any case, there's a scene where they're going down a river in The Hobbit: Desolation of Smaug, and I was laughing so hard at this scene, and it's weird because I don't laugh a whole lot in my day-to-day life, which is sad and not healthy for me, but I just don't laugh. I'm not a super laughy-daffy person. But I was laughing at this particular scene when a barrel of one of the dwarves is in a barrel and it's rolling down and hitting people and crushing orcs. And then as soon as it goes on for like 30, almost 40 seconds of this particular scene, and then he eventually lands, and as the barrel lands, the dwarf, both his arms and legs go through the barrel, and then he starts fighting orcs, this fat little dwarf in a barrel. It sounds ridiculous, and the Hobbit, Desolation of Smaug, did kind of say, fuck physics. I do realize that, but, you know, this is fantasy. You can do crazy things. I mean, you have elves running around and doing flips in the air and shooting bow and arrows and killing people. I mean, come on, it's a fantasy film. The two most favorite things about The Hobbit, Desolation of Smaug was Smaug and how well envisioned Smaug was represented as the dragon himself. All I can say is that the CGI in this film was exceptionally near perfection. Like, it looked real, like a real dragon. I realized that, you know, we've had dragons like in Harry Potter and stuff, but this dragon looked real, and I was watching it in 3D in the IMAX of the Pacific Science Center, which was like the biggest screen in the state of Washington or whatever. But in any case, Smaug just looked incredible. Like, I had never seen a dragon look that fucking good before. And the animation in general, the CGI, there's a lot of CGI in this film, was really well done. And if anything, I think it should be voted, The Hobbit, Desolation of Smaug should be put on the top films of CGI animation. I think The Man of Steel was on there. I know Gravity was on there. But I think The Hobbit, Desolation of Smaug should certainly be there. My second thing I really loved was the characters. I've always liked The Hobbit, the book, and that's one of the things that I loved about the previous film was I love all of the characters. All of the characters are funny. You have 12 freaking dwarves, for God's sake, and it's just chaos when you have all of these characters mixed together. It's not often that I laugh in films, and I was laughing consistently throughout The Hobbit, Desolation of Smaug, and I really like that about Peter Jackson, is his script writing for characters and the dialogue. Something that this film, I feel, as if is very, very strong. My absolute favorite thing about this film was Tauriel. Tauriel, I love you. If you don't know who Tauriel is, she's that really, really hot elf. Her actress name is Evangeline Lilly. She played in Lost. Yeah, the things that I would totally pay child support for that woman. She is drop dead gorgeous. And she plays Tauriel, the character, very, very, very well. I would certainly let her shoot an arrow in my butt. And something that I felt that was missing in the previous Lord of the Rings films was more of a backstory behind Gandalf and why he is the way he is and why he thinks the way he does and what he was doing before the Lord of the Rings, you know, with Frodo Baggins, before the actual Lord of the Rings trilogy book, before those were released, before the movies were made. This expands more on his character and behind the scenes of who Gandalf is, and I really like that in this film. There's a particular scene that I absolutely loved in this that I wanted to see this in the Lord of the Rings, but it just wasn't existent. There's a particular battle scene, or not really a battle scene, but a scene where Gandalf uses his magic to combat darkness, and it's literally, you have a white wizard, and you have the darkness going at each other like this. It almost felt like the duel in Harry Potter with Dumbledore and Voldemort. Something that was the Order of the Phoenix, I believe. That was the particular duel between Voldemort and Dumbledore in the Order of the Phoenix was fucking amazing. And there's a particular scene in The Hobbit, Desolation of Smaug, where this is somewhat similar, and I was literally like, yes, 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 this is exactly what I've always envisioned when I read the book, between Gandalf and some other dark force fighting together from light and darkness. I have a lot of respect for the director Peter Jackson. The fact that he can take such a simple book, such as The Hobbit, and make it into 3 films that so far, the first 2 have turned out exceptionally near perfection, in my opinion. Again, I'm saying my opinion in this video because I know a lot of reviews are subjective and some people are really, really anal about books being made to films and leaving out little pieces of information on and so forth. But in any book that you have that's written and you have a film that's made, it is not going to be 100% accurate in terms of all little details. And a lot of people don't seem to understand that. And with Peter Jackson, he's been throwing in different elements that were not originally in The Hobbit, which I think have turned out amazing. I'm not going to tell you what those things are because I don't want to spoil it, but in any case, if you like The Hobbit, The Unexpected Journey, I would highly recommend you go see The Hobbit, Desolation of Smaug, because it is worth it. It is nearly a 3-hour film, which, by the way, films need to be that long. I love long films, and it actually makes me feel like I'm actually spending the correct amount of money to see a film, because all too often you go to the movies and you spend $10 bucks to see a 90-minute film, an hour and a half, an hour and 20 minutes, and I'm like, that's bullshit. If I'm going to pay money, I want to see a full film that is nearly like at least 2 hours long. That's my idea anyway. So thank you guys for watching this video. My name is Mr. Repzion, also known as Daniel Solzbach. Go see The Hobbit, Desolation of Smaug. My next film review will be Captain America, the Winter Soldier, because I'm a huge Marvel guy, so you guys should know that already. In any case, you shall not pass, and peace the rep out. Tariel. I would totally make elvish babies.